combat ready, credible, cohesive, future-proof. As Indians continue to live in peace and aspire for prosperity, the Indian Navy enables them in many ways, both at sea and on shore, in ways tangible and intangible. Hello and welcome viewers. You're watching National Security with your host Kriti Mishra. The Indian Navy is pivotal in ensuring national security and maintaining international relations. The Indian Navy positions itself as a key maritime security provider and a reliable partner in the Indian Ocean region and showcases its readiness to respond to various regional challenges. In this edition, let's take a look at the recent rescue operations successfully conducted by Indian Navy. India has a coastline of about 7,500 kilometers and an exclusive economic zone of over 2 million square kilometers. In addition, India is endowed with abundant oceanic wealth, comprising a large number of island territories and vast seabed area. Over 90% of our national trade is carried by sea routes. We must protect our natural wealth and keep our trade routes open in order to progress. It is therefore imperative that India maintains a strong navy, which is always in a high state of preparedness. The full range of operations in which a nation's naval forces may be involved is vast, ranging from high-intensity war at one end to humanitarian assistance and disaster relief operations at the other. This broad continuum of operations can be broken down into distinct roles, each demanding a specific approach to the conduct of operations. With the emergence of piracy in 2008, the Indian Ocean region has witnessed steady increase in the presence of warships from regional and extra-regional navies operating independently or under the ambit of various multinational constructs. In the present scenario, the Indian Navy has taken the lead in responding to security situations arising out of a myriad of threats in the region. Indian Navy has responded to the manifestation of Israel-Hamas conflict in the maritime domain by reorienting and significantly enhancing the scope of its ongoing maritime security operations since mid-December 2023. The Navy undertook proactive actions during the hijacking of Malta-flagged bulk carrier MV Ruin on 14th of December 2023. During this time, the Indian Navy responded to 18 incidents and played a pivotal role as the first responder and preferred security partner in the Indian Ocean region. The significance of Indian Navy's contributions has been further underscored with the culmination of actions against the hijacking of MV Ruin.
The Indian Navy plays a central role in ensuring security and furthering India's national interests at sea. Over the past year, notwithstanding the unprecedented challenges posed by COVID-19, the Indian Navy's operational deployments have been bold, purposeful, and in support of national endeavours. The Navy contributed to the national effort to battle the pandemic and aid friendly foreign countries through provision of health care and aid. The Navy has also been at the forefront of cooperative engagements towards realizing the Honourable Prime Minister's vision of Saga, that is, security and growth for all in the region by ensuring that the seas remain free, open, inclusive and rules-based. The Navy's efforts have acted as a binding glue, strengthening bonds with like-minded partners across the seascape of the Indian Ocean and beyond.
Ever since the deployment of warships in the Red Sea and Gulf of Aden, very successful rescue operations have been conducted by the Navy. Let's take a look at some of the rescue operations. Indian Navy rescued Iranian fishing vessel and 23 Pakistani crew members. As many as 23 Pakistani nationals rescued by the Indian Navy from Somali pirates after a daring operation in the Arabian Sea on March 29th thanked India and raised slogans of India Zindabad. The Indian Navy's specialist team had protected them from 9 armed pirates and completed sanitization and seaworthiness checks of fishing vessel Al-Kambar.
मैं ईरान से निकल के आ रहा था समंदर, मुझे सोमालियों ने आई चेक किया हुआ है। कल दोपहर 3 बजे रात से इंडियन नेवी मेरे पीछे लगी हुई है इमदाद कुमक के लिए। पूरी रात इन लोगों ने मगजमारी की, जोर लगाया सोमालियों से। आज पूरी दिन अभी दिन की 4 बजे होने वाली है, इंडियन नेवी ने मुझे आज़ाद कर दिया। सोमालियों को निकाल दिया है। अभी मैं आज़ाद हूँ। इंडियन नेवी का शुक्रिया। इंडिया जिंदाबाद।
INS Sumitra rescues Pakistani nationals from Somali pirates. Indian Navy's INS Sumitra rescued the fishing vessel of Al Naimi and its crew of 19 Pakistani nationals from 11 Somali pirates. INS Sumitra had been deployed for anti-piracy and maritime security operations east of Somalia and Gulf of Aden. INS Sumitra rescues Iranian vessel from Somali pirate hijack. Indian Navy's INS Sumitra foiled another hijacking attempt while freeing an Iranian fishing vessel, FV Iman. It rescued the crew of 17 Iranian nationals from Somalian pirates. The Indian naval patrol vessel intercepted the vessel, acted in accordance with established SOPs to coerce the pirates for safe release of crew and the boat and ensured successful release of all crew members. On January 27th, Indian Navy's INS Vishakhapatnam received a distress call from British oil tanker MV Marlin after it was hit by a missile launched by Yemen's Houthi rebels. INS Vishakhapatnam's firefighting team, comprising 10 Indian naval personnel with specialist firefighting equipment, embarked on the vessel. With specialist firefighting equipment, the team brought the fire under control after battling with it for 6 hours. The MV had 22 Indian and 1 Bangladeshi crew on board. INS Vishakhapatnam responds to Marshall Islands drone attack distress call. On January 17th, Indian Navy's INS Vishakhapatnam received a distress call from Marshall Islands MV Picardie, followed by a drone attack. Indian Navy released an official statement which said INS Vishakhapatnam undertaking anti-piracy patrol in Gulf of Aden acknowledged the distress call and intercepted the vessels on January 18, 2024 in order to provide assistance. Indian Navy evacuates 15 nationals from hijacked vessel off Somalia coast. On January 5th, Indian Navy warship intercepted the MV Leela, Norfolk, after it was hijacked off Somalia coast with 21 crew members on board. The warship INS Chennai was diverted and deployed to assist the vessel. A naval aircraft overflew the hijacked vessel, establishing contact with it. All on board were safely evacuated. The naval ships, aircraft and special forces have demonstrated an unflinching resolve to secure the seas and protect the maritime community from various non-traditional threats present in the region. Based on the threat assessment in the region, the Indian Navy is conducting maritime security operations in 3 areas of operations: the Gulf of Aden and adjoining areas, Arabian Sea and off the east coast of Somalia. In support of the nation's growing strengths and responsibilities, the Indian Navy is determined to create and sustain multi-dimensional, technology-enabled and networked force capable of safeguarding our maritime interests on the high seas and projecting combat power. The Indian Navy's present force level comprises of more than 150 ships and submarines. The Indian Navy's prospective planning in terms of force levels is now driven by a conceptual shift from numbers of platforms, that is, from the old bean counting philosophy to one that concentrates upon capabilities. The focus is on fourth industrial revolution technologies such as artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data, quantum communications and additive manufacturing, which are exponential in nature and are causing massive naval disruptions among the world's major navies. The Indian Navy has been focusing on developing indigenous platforms, systems, sensors and weapons as part of nation's modernization and expansion of its maritime forces. As of November 2023, the Indian Navy has 67 vessels of various types under construction, including destroyers, frigates, corvettes, conventional powered and nuclear powered submarines, and various other ships. It plans to build up a total of 200 vessels and 500 aircraft by 2050. India has transformed from a buyer's navy to a builder's navy. Indian Naval Indigenization Plan 2015 to 2030 has also encouraged domestic industries, including micro, small and medium enterprises, to participate in construction of ships and associated naval equipment. The Indian Navy is looking for considerable support from the Indian industry to successfully realize its new shipbuilding projects. The industry is also urged to invest in development of naval equipment meeting the stringent standards. Aircraft carriers are an intrinsic part of any blue water navy. They're also the nation's biggest marine assets. INS Vikrant, India's first indigenous aircraft carrier, is a glorious expression of the country's maritime power and diplomacy in the Indian Ocean region. Three acres of sovereign territory, floating airfield, India's maritime diplomacy and power projection in the Indian Ocean. India's first indigenous aircraft carrier, INS Vikrant. It is a tribute to the rising spirits of India on the world horizon. INS Vikrant is just not a warship. After the commissioning, the IAC-1 was renamed INS Vikrant by way of honouring India's first ever aircraft carrier of the same name. The illustrious predecessor was India's first aircraft carrier, which had played a pivotal role in the 1971 war. This is a testament to the hard work, talent, influence and commitment of India in the 21st century. With the commissioning of INS Vikrant on 2nd September 2022, India entered into a select band of nations having the niche capability to indigenously design and build an aircraft carrier, and real testimony to the nation's resolve for self-reliance and Make in India. With a displacement of 42,000 tons, Vikrant, which means victorious and gallant, is the largest ship ever designed and built by India. Vikrant has been built with a high degree of automation for machinery operation, ship navigation, survivability, and has been designed to accommodate an assortment of fixed-wing and rotary aircraft. The specific roles of Indian Navy in future would continue to extend across the entire spectrum of security of the nation, from peacekeeping through the low-intensity segment to high-intensity conventional hostilities, up to and including nuclear conflict. The Indian Navy will necessarily need to perform its veritas in the expanding presence of neutral and multinational extra-regional forces in the Indian Ocean region. The efforts of Indian Navy have played a significant role in enhancing the maritime capabilities of India. By providing and engaging in the cooperative surveillance activities, the Indian Navy has contributed to strengthening maritime security and operational proficiency in the region.